Welcome back to Skidmore Family Farm. We've been a few days without any videos, probably close to a week. I've had the flu for the last 3 days, 2.5 days, but I think I've shaken that flu or cold, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna try and get this lumber sorted out and start assembling our animal shelter, which is going to be a lean-to with an open run on it, and this will just give the Trixie a place to get out of the rain if she wants to. It'll give us a place to store her feed, any excess hay that we have, and I will also put a place for Veli inside so he can get out of the rain. Eventually he'll be out here, and hopefully we can get the fencing done and expand the fencing once we get better weather. That way they can be let outside this little paddock. We got about probably a little over 1/4 of an acre that's going to be fenced in right here. But the goal is there's a ridge, or not a ridge, but I don't know what you'd call it. It's just like a little ledge, a couple 100 feet up the mountainside that goes all the way down towards the neighbors, and it comes and wraps around and goes up the mountain over here. But I would like to get that fence at the top of that little flat area and go the whole length of the property, and then that way the lower part can be utilized for hay or just grass that's going to come up, and something for the Trixie and her calf to eat throughout the summer months. And we might be able to save some of it if we can get it growing good. I plan on seeding the lower end, and hopefully we can get some better hay growing, fescue, grass, whatever you want to call it, and maybe bale some of it up, or just have loose hay and I can store it and have a little bit of stored hay for next winter, or at least for the fall even. The less I have to buy hay or have brought in, whatever, the less money we have spent on it. And we've got a fairly large area down here that, if managed right, that would allow us to feed a couple cows. Plus, if I do that upper ridge line, fence that in, there's lots of saplings and stuff like that. When we get goats, they can go along the creek line and up the hillside and clean all that up for us. Not sure how much I really want goats, but if it helps clean up the property, maybe we could even just do it for the first couple years, or until we get tired of them, and harvest them or sell them off if we can develop a herd. But as you can see, all this scrub brush, whatever you want to call it, weeds and thorn bushes, the goats will eat all that up. So that would be a good deal to have at least a handful, half a dozen or so goats. And then if we can get them to, if we have females, we can get them to kid and sell them, or like I said, build a herd, a small herd that we can run throughout the property. And we might just make little paddocks, and I can have them clean out somewhat flat areas that we can move Trixie and her calf around on throughout the summer months. If it gets muddy down here, we can rotate her throughout those different little paddocks to one, fertilize the ground, two, to keep it from being eroded. You leave an animal in one area too long, they eat up all the grass or hay, and then if there's nothing there, then it erodes away, turns into a mud pit, and that's not what we want. So we're gonna get started, like I said, sorting this lumber out, and once I get it sorted, I can start assembling the lean-to for the animal shelter. Oh, we're back, and I finished sorting out the wood, separating everything down, and I started building the structure. As you can see, I've got all four walls up, and the roof joist or ceiling joist slash rafter. It's going to be all in one, but I'll probably run some braces across the top half to support the center load, since I only use 2x4s. But I was just trying to do it on a budget, so I didn't want to put a whole bunch of money into this, and it's basically, I wouldn't say temporary, but we're just trying to get everything established, and we can build big animal barns or whatever later. But this will be enough for Veli, for Trixie, and her calf come summertime. She's due at the end of June, beginning of July. And basically there'll be an opening on this corner closest to us. Right here, there'll be an opening, and I'll probably put some shelving or something like that in there, and just stuff to accommodate the cows, the calf, all that. We can store the feed in there, the hay. There'll be plenty of room for all that. I'll put a little shelter for Veli inside so he can get out of the weather. He's an outside dog, but he's temporarily inside just because we don't have the fence up. He's still a pup too. He's only 5 months old. So we'll probably introduce him out of here once Trixie's here. We'll get the chickens in here. Yeah, on the back side of the shelter, I left enough room in between the fence. I'll probably put the chicken shelter, whatever, chicken coop, and have a run at the bottom of it. And then when I'm here, I can let them out in the pasture. But that's what we got going on. I started here at about 11, and it's, I think, 5 or 5:30, so decent amount of progress done today, and kind of feeling it after being sick for a couple days. Kind of took it out of me to get this much done, but it had to be done. Trixie comes tomorrow. Our neighbors are going to let us use their pasture until I get this wrapped up. Luckily we have them, because I was supposed to do this work when I was sick, so everything would be ready for tomorrow, but then I got sick. As everything I go to do, it's kind of bad timing, but it's almost never perfect or perfect timing, so everything's still falling into place. She'll arrive tomorrow evening, and then I may have to go to a funeral in Missouri, so thankfully the neighbors are going to let me use their pasture, so that'll be another delay. That delays the fence from going up, the shelter from being finished. Just one thing after another, but we still got to keep moving forward. And like I said, I feel like I had a decent amount of progress for just one person today in about 6 hours, I think. I don't know the time right now, but I know it's starting to get dark, so I'm assuming it's getting close to 6. But a good full day's work, and I should be able to get all this metal. We have the corrugated metal, galvanized steel. I actually kind of prefer that it's weathered already. The barn will look like it's been there for a while. We got a good deal on all this. What I don't use on this, I might use as an accent on the exterior of the cabin, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how much I'll have left. I've seen a few people on the Facebook buy sell trade pages and all that, and Craigslist, that have matching corrugated tin, so we'll just see what we can do. I might do a large chunk of the cabin in this, just depending on how it looks and what it costs to do it. But like I said, a good day's worth of work. I can kind of level this out and then start putting the tin on it. Once I get the walls done, I'll start on the well, I'll probably do the roof first, just depending on what the weather's like. And that, like I said, that'll be a project that has been completed instead of halfway done. Trixie, I'm sure, will appreciate it. I don't know, she may not. She might just roam around out here. Some animals are like that. They don't want to be inside a barn unless it's just horrible conditions. But we'll see. Now I gotta get everything picked up before it gets too dark, so I'm gonna wrap it up. If you haven't subscribed to Skidmore Family Farm, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up to like our videos, and hit the notification bell to get all our latest videos and notifications. Thanks, and have a great day.